Okay, so this is video 6, but let's just have a look at the end of video 5, or page 5. So it says, when you make sure everything's working, you can remove new game from ready. Okay, well let's see what I've got here. So there it is, and I'm going to start that up. And it's quite small on my Mac, but there we go, I'm moving up and down. There we go. And the mobs are spawning and doing their thing. They all appear to be being created from that line around the edge, which is what I expect. And then I get hit, and it does return this error about calling the function stop. But that's okay, the rest seems to work. So I'm going to keep going. Now, it does say here in the instructions to take out new game from ready. I'm going to assume that's up in main. There it is. So, in actual fact, I'm just going to hash that out. Because who knows, maybe I'll want it later. So, there's my new game hashed out. Now, interestingly, when I did that, I get an error. Oh, I know why. Because I've actually got a function without anything in it. So I'm going to hash out the whole thing. Because that's what was causing that. You can't have a function with nothing in it. We might be reinstating ready soon. Okay, well, let's go to the next page. So, we are going to be creating the HUD, or the heads-up display, or just the HUD. So, we are going to create a new scene and add a canvas layer named HUD. Alright, let's see if I can do that. So, new scene. There we go. Other node. Canvas. Canvas layer. There we go. Let's create that. And I'm going to double click on it and call it HUD. And I'll just check that it is all in capitals. It is in fact. So, it lets us draw our elements on a layer above the rest of the game. That's fine. So, it needs to display the following information: the score, which is going to be changed by score timer, a message for game over or get ready, or a start button. Fair enough. The basic node for the elements is control. Okay. To create a UI, we'll use two control types. Two types of control, label and button. Okay, so these are going to be two child nodes. So, down here, we're going to create these as children of the HUD. Okay, so label, so I'm going to create a label, and I'm going to call it score label, and that's in Pascal case. So I right click, I create a label, good, there's my label, and that is called score label. So score label in Pascal case, okay, I think I spelt label right there, yeah I have, and then another label called message. So again, another child, this one's also a label, and it's called message. Now, I haven't actually done this part of the game before, so we'll see how I go. Then I'm going to create a button called start button. Okay, so far so good. Add child, looking for buttons. Oh good, there's a button. Just seems to be a regular button, there it is. And it's called start button, and now because I know that we've been using Pascal case, I'm going to assume that that one is too, and yes it is. And a timer named message timer. Okay, so once again, there we go, and a timer which I've used before, there it is, and this is going to be called message timer. Message timer, fantastic. Alright, so far so good. Now, click on the score label and type a number into the text field on the inspector. Okay, that doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me, but let's have a look at it. So, click on the score label. Sure, there's the score label. And there's the inspector. Oh, okay, so there's the text field. It says a number, so I'm just going to put 1. I'm not sure if it expects a particular number. The default font for controls is small and doesn't scale well. So there's a font included called, and I don't know, I'm going to try and pronounce that there. So, to load this font, under theme overrides. Okay, where is theme overrides? So, in score label, theme overrides. Alright, let's have a look for that. So, score label, there's my text up here. Displayed text, theme overrides, there it is. Fonts, and I'm going to load this one here. Oh, there we go, it's the only one in there. Alright, well that was relatively painless. Okay, so I've done that. Once you've done this on score label, you can click the down arrow next to the font property and choose copy and then paste it into the other two control modules. Okay, so let's have a look at this. the down arrow next to the font property, and then choose copy. Okay, font, down arrow. Okay, is there a copy in here somewhere? There is. Copy. Okay, and then I'm going to go into the message. Let's see if I've got fonts here somewhere. Theme overrides, fonts. I wonder if I can... Oh, there it is. So I just pasted that in. That was pretty easy. Now start button, theme overrides, fonts, the arrow down, and paste it in. Okay, that was actually pretty painless. Okay, so I've done that. Now, paste it in. Set the font size property of score label under theme overrides font sizes to 64. So score label under, there we go. There we go. And font sizes, and it's 1 at the moment, which I mentioned is going to be pretty small, 64. Now, it doesn't actually tell me about the others, so you know what? I guess what's the point in doing it if it doesn't say? Once you've done this, score label, yep, set the font property of score label. Yep, so it's just 64 that I'm setting. Great. So next we're talking about control nodes don't have a position and size, but they have anchors. All right, well, let's find the anchor. Arrange the nodes as shown below. Okay, that doesn't fill me with confidence, but let's have a quick look. So obviously I'm going to need to go into 2D mode here. Yep, so that's the, you probably can just see that. I'm going to zoom in on that a bit. Okay, so that there is our playing area. It might be a little bit hard to see, but I'm just going around it with my mouse. So that is the thing, and it's got a 1 in there for reasons best known only to them. So arrange the nodes as shown. So we have that there. We're going to press it down. You can drag the nodes to place them manually or use the anchor presets. Okay, can't say that I'm filled with joy about this, but let's grab that fella there. I guess I grab it from there. Nope, maybe I grab it from there. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, now this is where I'm a little bit confused because it says, so I've just got a 0 there. Oh, I know why. That's the number that I put in. That's why that's the 1 that I put in as text. So that's up there. Okay, well that's so far so good, except that my box isn't where my little anchor is. So there we go. Let's put my anchor there so that they both match. So I'm looking at the score label. So I'm going here and I'm on the score label, and up here is the anchor presets, and I think it said center top. So there we go. That's center top. Let's just go back. Center top is what it asked for. The label setting, which was over here, is 0. It said a number, and obviously I took it at its word, but it's 0. The horizontal alignment is center. So horizontal alignment is center, and the vertical alignment is also center. Okay, so vertical alignment center. There we go. So now let's have a look at the message. So the message, let's see, I definitely do have one called message. Good, I feel a little bit like I'm getting the hang of this. So the message is going to have an anchor preset of center. Let's see if I can find that. I feel like that one there should just be center. It is. So I'll click that, yep. And I actually had to click that a couple of times. Okay. The text is dodge the creeps, which I'm actually going to copy. So the text is dodge the creeps in there. Now what else have we got here? Horizontal alignment, center, and vertical is center. Terrific. So center and center. And I think they're telling me about the auto wrap mode, which is word. There you go. Okay, well let's see if I can keep going. The start button. Okay, so the start button is center bottom. Alright, so start button is center bottom. I'm going to guess is that one there. Oh no, that worked the first time. Terrific. Now the text, I'm going to guess is start. Okay, now the button settings are text start, sure. position Y 580, and it says control layout transform. Okay, well let's see if I can work that out. So let me just have another look at it. So position Y control layout transform. Okay, control layout transform. Yep. There it is, and it wants me to put in a Y value of 580. So control layout transform and a Y value there of 580. Okay. Oh, I see. Yep. So that's putting the start all the way down there. Dodge the creeps, it says, and there's the score up the top. Okay. Well, that's all looking pretty good to me. Now we're going to add some script. All right. So I'm going to copy that. This extends the canvas layer. Good. Well, that's pretty much what I'd expect. So I'm going to click on that. Hang on. I'm going to cancel out of that and add it to HUD. There we go. So create and paste that in so it extends canvas layer. Good. That's what I'd expect. Now I want to create a message temporarily. Okay. So I'm going to copy that, and that's a function, so that's going to sit hard against the edge of the page. And of course I'm going to delete my 4 spaces and tab them in. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Then we also need to do what happens when they lose. So this is another function, and this is the show game over function. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. And again, a little bit of formatting here. So I'll do a bit of a speed run on this. Okay, so that's all done. I'm just going to save. There we go. What else do we do? So I've done that. Hang on, let me just check. Yes, and I've done the first 3. I'll just check that start button show. Good, this is where I'm up to. This function is called when the player loses. It will show game over for 2 seconds. Sure, it's going to create a timeout. Yep, so it's going to await that. I'm not entirely sure how that works. When you need a brief pause, is the scene's create timer function. Okay, well, let's go back to that. So we've got a thing to update the score. Okay, so I'm copying that. And again, because that's a function that's sitting hard against the edge, and I'll just need to fix the indent. And then I have, it says, connect the timeout signal of message timer and add the following new functions. Okay, well, let's see if I can work that out. So message timer is there. I go into node and I find the timeout. Terrific. Okay, so that's created that function. And then, and whereabouts am I here? I know it's just, oh, there it is. And add the following code to the new functions. So just looking at what I've just created, it's on message timer timeout. So, and add the code to the new functions. It's a little bit confusing actually. Connect the timeout signal and the pressed signal of, so the timeout of message timer, sure, and the press signal of that. Oh, okay, so on message timer is that one down there. So I've already got that, so let's grab that code. I just did them, it's just out of order. So on message timer, and I'm going to replace it with that. Okay, terrific. So far, so good. All right, and now I bet I'm going to create the other one. So the press signal of the start button. Okay, well, let's go back to the start button, and there's the pressed. So I double press that, connect, there we go. I've got my new function, and it's function on start button pressed. Good, that's what I had there. And so I'm going to put that in. So far, so good. All right, so that goes in there. And I'll just fix up the indenting there. There we go. And a quick save. Okay, now that we're done creating the HUD scene, we can go back to main. Okay. Instance the HUD scene in the main like you did in the player scene. Okay, that's not super useful to me, but sure. Okay, so now that we're done creating, go back to main. All right, so here we are on main. Great. And there's main. Great. It says, instance the HUD scene in main like you did the player scene. Okay, so I think I know how this works. I click on main and I think I'm going to link it. I think that's instancing. I'm going to link the HUD scene. There we go. That looks exactly like that diagram. Yep, good. I'm glad that worked. So, this requires a few additions to the main scene. Okay. In the Node tab, collect the HUD's start game signal to the new game. Okay. Here we have the HUD. And I'm just going to go over here to the node and start game. I think that's what it's asking me to connect. Yep, start game to new game. Okay, so when we get start game, I'm going to connect that to new underscore game, which is there in snake case. Oh, I actually did that in burrito case. So there we go, in snake case, new game. I'm just going to check that I've got that right first. New underscore game. Okay, and yep, that's fine. Type below. There we go. Now connect. There it is. So that's connecting to new game, which it looks as though we already had, which is good. So what else have we got? Yep, or type new game in the receiver window. The green connection icon now appears in function new game in the script. Yes, it does. Excellent. That's encouraging. So remove the call to new game from ready. Okay, let's just go up. Yep, I have done that. Yep. So now, in new game, update the score and display the get ready message. Okay, so I'll copy that. And this is going into the function called new game. So there we go, new game. And I'll just pop that in there. Terrific. So that's added to new game. In game over, we need to call the corresponding HUD function. Sure, why not? So in game over, let's go through, let's find game over is there. There we go, that's encouraging. Now, there you go. Yep, so we've taken away new game in ready, yes. Now, add this to on score timer timeout, okay? On score timer timeout. And let's add that line there, okay? So, going up, on score timer timeout, up there we go. So I'm adding that line of code, and I'm just going to save all of that. Now, it says I'm ready to click the play the project button. You'll be asked to choose a main scene. Okay. Alright, well let's give that a go and see if it works. Certainly, well, I'm going to say optimistic, but I'm not sure if I'm optimistic. So, start, get ready. Oh, wow. You know what, that's a bit exciting. You know what, it fails at the end, but that's okay. That felt good. That was encouraging. So, now, removing the old creeps. If you play until game over and then start a new game right away, the creeps from the previous game may still be on the screen. It would be better if they disappeared. We need a way to tell them to remove themselves. So, in the mob scene, select the root node. Okay, so where are we? In mob, there we go. In the mob scene, selecting the root node, and there I am over with nodes, yep. And the tab inspector. Next to signals, click groups. And you can type a new group name and click add. Okay, I can't say that means huge amounts to me. So, next to signals, click groups. Okay, there's signals, groups. Okay, so we're going to call these, I think, mobs. I'm just going to pop back and check. Okay, they'll be in the mobs group. Okay, and I add. Okay, so apparently they'll all be in the mobs. Every mob will now be in the mobs group, I think is what we're saying. So, now we can add the following line to the new game function in main. So basically, get tree, group call mobs, and I'm going to queue free them. I couldn't really tell you what that does. So main, where did I say we're going to put it? We're going to put it to new game function in main. All right. So new game function is down here. There it is. Okay, and I save. All right. Now I don't think that this game ends like it should. But let's have a quick play and just see. So where am I here? There we go, Godot. I'm just going to stop that. It appears to be disappearing into the background. So I don't think my game is perfect, but get ready. Okay, so I'm dodging stuff, and then it closes. But I have a feeling, yeah, that it is actually there in the background. That if I minimize other things, there it is. It's just in some sort of fail state, which is a bit annoying. But you know what? The game basically works, which I'm going to take as a win for now. It's not perfect, but it might have to do. Alright, so that, in fact, brings us to the end of this very long video.